Okay, fifth aliyah, verse 22. You shall tithe all the seed crop that your field gives forth year by year. You shall eat before the Lord your God in the place he chooses to establish his name therein, the tithes of your grain, your wine, and your oil, of the firstborn of your cattle and of your sheep, so you may learn to fear the Lord your God all the days. So the whole purpose of tithing is to teach us that really we don't really own anything. Now, obviously, we do have things, but we're supposed to give. We're supposed to constantly, we're supposed to take it from our wallet. Like we're supposed to give that portion, and it's supposed to make us remember that God's around. God's not far away. And it's supposed to be in the place that God chose, which of course is Yerushalayim. And if the way be now, if it's too far away, if the way be too long for you, and you're unable to carry it for the place of which your Lord your God will choose to establish his name therein, is too far from you, for the Lord your God will bless you, then you shall turn it into money and bind up the money in your hand, and you shall go to the place your Lord your God will choose. So let's say it's too much, like a tenth of your cattle is like this huge, massive herd. And I don't know, let's say it's 100,000 things of cattle, let's just say, I don't know, it could be massive and you can't get it to Yerushalayim. So you could change it into money. You could change it into money and take that money to Yerushalayim. And you shall turn that money to whatever your soul desires. You could do whatever you want with that money once you give it to cattle, sheep, new wine or old wine, or whatever your soul desires, you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice you in your household. So you could do, once you're in Yerushalayim, you can do whatever you want with that money. And as for the Levite who is in your city, you shall not forsake him. Don't forget about the Levite. There must have been real inyan to forget about the Levites, because the Torah tells us twice not to do it. So it must be this thing in our minds that's really true, this thing those guys aren't working, they're so lazy. That must be something that really goes on in our psychological mind, because otherwise the Torah wouldn't tell us to not to twice to not forsake them. Okay, because he has neither portion nor inheritance with you. Don't forget about the Levite. And at the end of the 3 years, you shall take out all the tithe of your crop in that year, and you shall place it in your cities. And the Levite, because he has no portion of inheritance with you, and the stranger and the orphan. So even the stranger means somebody who's not Jewish, who's not a Hebrew. And the orphan and the widow who are in your cities will come and eat and be satisfied. So the Lord your God will bless you in all the work of your hand that you will do. So we're not supposed to be so mean. We're not supposed to be mean to strangers. We're not supposed to be oh, they're taking over our cities and they're causing all these problems. We're supposed to actually give them food. We're supposed to help them. Now, not all your food, and you're supposed to give it a tithe. So there are limits to how much charity we're supposed to give, but we're not just supposed to even if they're not here legally, it doesn't matter to the Torah. The Torah is we're supposed to help people, even if they're not Hebrews, they're not Jews. The Torah doesn't say anything about their skin color. The Torah says we're supposed to help people that are strangers, widows and orphans. They have to come, not just eat a little bit. They're supposed to be satisfied.